Well, thank you all so much. I'm excited today. We have another new Get to Know Your Wedding Pro out of Aloha, Oregon. We have Natalie and Kameron with the Reserve Vineyard and Golf Club. I'm excited to have you guys on. How are you doing?
We're doing good. We're really excited to be here, and we appreciate you having us today.
So who is who for people watching the video, and then obviously the audio, you can hopefully track along as well.
Here you go.
Hi, I'm Kameron. I've been at the Reserve since July. I'm a little bit newer to the Reserve, but we were super excited. We had a very wonderful season. We are super excited for 2022.
Yeah, and I'm Natalie. I started at the same time as Kameron. We've gotten super close working together. We love it, and we're super excited.
So this is good. So we have a venue down here. Always good to get venues on. Tell us a little bit about what you guys offer specifically. Obviously events as well, but for weddings and people interested in that.
Yeah, so at the Reserve, I think one of our best qualities is that we are a one-stop shop. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you do kind of have your outside vendors as far as like florists and desserts and that kind of stuff. But as far as linens go, setup, food, beverage, your on-site coordinator, we really kind of have it all. And I think that stands out to people when they're looking for a venue because they don't have to worry about a lot of things that you might have to kind of stress about at other places. Mm-hmm.
What kinds of couples specifically do you find gravitate towards the offerings that you guys have?
Yeah, they gravitate to us just because we're golf, but we're also a wedding venue. So we have a private and a public golf course. And so people gravitate to us just because we have been around since 1997. And so we have a well-known name for ourselves, as well as weddings, but for golf too. So we bring in a wide variety. We have a lot of cultural weddings. We have a lot of just traditional weddings. We have just a lot of people come to us from out of state, from in-state. So we actually pull in a wide range of groups and families and people.
In terms of logistics, because that's obviously important in planning stuff, talk about size and things like that you guys are able to accommodate.
Yeah, so we're kind of all over the board as far as that goes. We have an indoor area inside of our venue that can accommodate 80 people, 90 people if we're kind of all closing together. So for more intimate kind of quaint events, we definitely highlight that area. If you want to have a large scale wedding, you want 300 people, we can accommodate to that as well. We have what we call the crossing, which is actually right in between both of our golf courses. That's where we typically hold our ceremonies. It's a beautiful area, beautiful views. And then right after that ceremony, we'll go into the pavilion where we have, we can fit 250 comfortably under the pavilion. And then in the hotter months, we can push it out onto a patio that sits right next to that as well.
Because I know that that's a big thing, especially in Seattle. We see a lot of, looking for larger venues, looking for, as things are opening back up now, especially, but, being able to accommodate right that. Especially in Seattle, there's a finite amount of space that can do that. Do you find a lot of couples are traveling from out of state to you guys? Do you attract a lot of local people? How does that work?
Yeah, it's kind of back and forth. I would say it's about 50-50 either way. We do have a lot of locals. We have a lot of people coming from Bend and Eugene and even Seaside area, but we also do have people coming from California and New York. Yeah. So we bring in wide range. I wouldn't say that it's more, in-state or out of state, but it's definitely about 50-50. Yeah. We see a wide range of our guests that we pull in. So it's really nice just to see kind of where people are coming from and what they do and just to see their background. We really enjoy it, I would say.
I would especially imagine people moving, from California up, maybe, slightly less expensive, right? Getting married in Oregon than in, like wine country or whatever, but still getting obviously beautiful. Are you guys talk about, weather and things there, being outside, having the beautiful grounds? How late does your season run to typically?
Yeah, so we'll have people come in that want to do a March wedding, May, April. Obviously, you kind of know being in the Seattle area that we definitely can't count on the weather at those times. Fortunately for us, we are able to have our ceremonies pushed into our reception area. We'll kind of flip it, which I know some venues will do that if you live in an area that does tend to rain a lot. So our wedding season does stretch from May to October. That is if people are comfortable, obviously, kind of banking on the weather. But like I said, we're definitely able to accommodate if it does rain that day. Mm-hmm.
How did you all get involved in this? How did you all become, part of this, venue, and obviously reaching out, coming on these podcasts and things? I want to hear more about that.
Yeah. So a little bit about my background. I've actually been so involved with just events and the event community. Ever since I was younger, I've just kind of taken an interest in just planning and coordinating and just being there. I love the small details. So I knew from a young age that this is kind of what I wanted to get into. More recently, I have been professionally involved with the community of events and wedding community for about 3 years now. I originally started with a lady named Nicole. She has her own business with Party to Go Go, and she kind of introduced me with kind of the event planning industry of baby showers and weddings and anniversaries and birthdays. And it was so much fun. And I was like, this is my passion. I definitely really, really love this. As we got more into weddings, I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to specialize in weddings. Weddings is what makes me. I love just the outcome of weddings, making the couple feel happy. And so as the Reserve had an opportunity come up, I was like, this is for me. Please pick me. I want to specialize in weddings. I want to just have the love. Like I resonate off of it. Like I just want it so much. And so I got this opportunity at the Reserve, and now just specializing in weddings, I know exactly like where I want to be. And this is kind of my future and stuff. And so it has just been so just beneficial for me to kind of just start at the Reserve. And that's just kind of how I found my passion.
Yeah. And for myself, I am pretty similar in the sense that I love events. I love seeing it from start to finish. Prior to doing weddings and events, I did interior design for a little bit, which I still love. I still do it for family and friends. But it really made me realize that I love being a part of like a bigger project. I had so much fun when clients would come in and we would kind of visualize something, plan it out, and then getting to see that whole project come together. It just made me so happy. I loved being a part of it. I loved like seeing their goals become a reality. And so then I was like, I want more of this, and I want it to be like more intimate, more special. And that's kind of what geared me towards the wedding community as well.
Are you guys balancing a lot of corporate stuff there in tours and things like that versus the weddings as well?
Yeah, definitely. So we do a lot of tours, not only for weddings, but also for our golf events, our holiday events and stuff like that. So we tailor towards weddings, but we also accommodate, especially during our slower times, to bingo nights and just the golf events and fun wine things at the Reserve. So we do a lot of just other things besides events. And so it's really fun to kind of dabble in a little bit of other events. We definitely specialize and do mainly weddings, but we do have, a birthday party here and there. And it's been really, really fun to kind of just see other events as well here at the Reserve.
When it comes to weddings, in terms of like other spaces besides the ceremony, like getting ready, areas like that, is that something that you guys are able to accommodate on site?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a bridal suite, a groom's room. We actually also have that upstairs area I just mentioned earlier. That area is really nice too, because kiddos can go up there and kind of run around and get some of their energy out. Sometimes people have decorations that they just don't know what to do with. So we definitely have a very large venue, which I know our clients tend to really appreciate, because they can spread out, they can bring decorations, their kids can run around. And then we definitely have a really nice space for our brides and grooms as well.
Well, it's interesting, because like we have golf courses up here, and not to like throw a hand in the bus, but you have them and like maybe it's beautiful, right, where you get married, but then it's like the golf shop is like right there, and then like you're getting married, it's like the side of the parking lot where you're trying to get married, so you get where it's not like, oh, we want to like exist in this space, be able to relax, be able to get ready. So that's why I asked that, because it is something I don't think enough concern is always put in, like, where are we going to get ready? Where are we going to hang out? Where can my mom sit and be while we're doing stuff? It's just nice to have other areas that you guys can offer to the clients,
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of our idea, is we want to be the one-stop kind of shop. So we want to, do everything in-house that we can. So we do a lot of our liquor. We do all of our food in-house. And then we want to make sure that bride and groom, when they come, they are at ease. They really don't have to focus anything outside of the venue. The only thing that we really don't do for them is the hiring of like a DJ or a florist and such, but everything else should be really in-house. We're trying to make it as easy as possible, give them as many options as possible. That's why we have such a big bride and groom's room. We put the focus on so many different aspects of space. We are technically 4 stories, and so there's lots of room for our golf events and our golf side, but also for our weddings and such as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have a lot of people that come in, they're like, this is a golf course. So like, are we going to kind of, like you mentioned, like, are we going to be kind of like moving around the golfers? Like, what's your priority here? We take a lot of pride in our weddings, and we know people are spending a lot of money, a lot of effort, time planning. So we certainly make sure that it feels like it's their day. They rented that space. We have our marshals making sure that it's fully their area. And I think that's one thing that makes us stand out, is that like, you truly are renting that space and it feels like it's all yours for the whole day.
Because it's tough, like, you know, where you want to have it be your day, right? And you want to be able to have the venue, but also like, you know, I always try to be respectful of like if someone's golfing or whatever, you know, I mean, like we got married, you know, and our venue was also a restaurant, right? So we were cognizant of like, okay, there's other activities going on here, but it's that tough balancing act. So it's good that you guys are, you know, cognizant of that, because it is a balancing act.
It is. Yeah. Absolutely. It's definitely about meeting in the middle. And same thing, we don't want to like disrespect our golfers. Like they're really important to us as well. So same thing on both ends, we're making sure that it feels special, and, you know, both these groups are coming out to have a great day. And so we make sure that that happens for everyone.
So I was Googling earlier here. I was looking at trying to figure out mapping and stuff with my knowledge of Oregon. You know, west of Portland, right? Are you guys finding a lot of couples do they stay out in Aloha? Do they go back to Portland? I mean, do a lot of family and friends and stuff stay out like in Beaverton? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, so we've actually found it's kind of varies. So we have a preferred vendor list, and we do have hotels and such for families to stay on that are kind of around the area. But we do pull people in from Beaverton. We do pull them in from Portland. We actually had a couple from Eugene recently as well. So we do pull from a lot of different areas. We do try, especially for the family who's traveling out of state, for them to stay as local as possible. So we do have a lot of hotels that are, you know, within the 5-mile radius or 10-mile radius to make it on a little bit easier. But we do pull from a lot of different towns and stuff around the area, I would say. Yeah.
This is interesting about that, you know, with accommodations and stuff. Are you guys, and then when they come to work, are they working with you guys? Are you kind of the point people? Talk me through that process. If I want to get married, you know, at the Reserve, how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you come, like, you're typically going to schedule a meeting with one of us too. We're pretty much your point person from start to finish. So you'll be coming in and, you know, deciding if you obviously want to book or not. And then from there, we're going to do tastings. If you want to do a wine tasting, lots of tours, lots of meetings going over your linen colors. Like I said, it is a one-stop shop. So you're going to have a lot of selections. You're deciding with us. We both are really passionate about it. So we like to be part of the full process. So we like to see the DJ's timeline. We like to see what time the cake's getting there, what it's going to look like, all of that kind of stuff. So we get really excited when they send us as much information as they can. So yeah, we'll be there from start to finish. And then the day of, we're typically going to show up in the morning, make sure they have their mimosas, their food, whatever they ordered for that day. And then we stay pretty much through like the cake cutting end of the night. If it's a high, you know, if it's kind of like a really busy, crazy wedding, we'll stay from like early in the morning all the way until the very end. But typically we'll have a banquet manager that stays towards the very end of the wedding.
It's interesting talking about going through design processes and stuff, because I mean, at least from what I know, that's a little atypical, right? I feel like a lot of golf, you know, you get the room, right? It's pretty bare, right? It's really on to, you know, the DJ to bring in lights or whatever to bring in. So talk about, you know, those design choices and how maybe those unique things you guys offer.
Yeah, so as far as in-house decorations, we don't have too many. So we definitely suggest if you are doing any kind of decorations, definitely make sure that your florist is very seasoned, someone who's willing to decorate the arbor, to decorate the tables or whatnot. As far as the DJ, typically a DJ will bring in the whole setup. So if they bring in the lights, that actually extra touch, you know, but definitely as far as just kind of accommodating to the unique style of bride and groom, we can move things around as such. We typically have a standard layout of like where the head table is going to be or the sweetheart table, but we can definitely move things around, especially for, you know, smaller weddings compared to the bigger weddings. We can definitely move things around and such that way.
What kind of feedback do you get from couples, after they have their big day there, after having kind of worked with you guys for so long?
We have had a really, really great response after this season. We're honestly super happy with how it went. Yeah. We've had a lot of great reviews that we've seen. Like we kind of said, we're both new to the reserve this season. And so we're obviously nervous going into it. We want to make sure that people, have a great experience with us, and we've gotten amazing feedback. There's definitely things that we want to build up and do even bigger for the seasons to come. But I would say that the response we've gotten from this year is that we're accommodating. People feel like they're heard, they're taken care of. People have loved the food. Our chef Marissa is awesome.
She's so amazing.
We've been getting really great feedback, and our whole team is just really, really happy and honored to be a part of it.
Talk to me about the food. I had a wedding at a golf club a little while ago, and it was, a little subpar. I know that obviously the food is a big thing. Being in-house, right? Obviously that's something that you guys take great pride in. Talk about that and kind of the offerings and as much, and I know that that's not your purview as the actual cooking and everything, but as much as you can, talk me through the in-house catering.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually get really excited about the food. So Chef Marissa is amazing. She has a very versatile kind of background. She's very accommodating to all dietary restrictions. For this year, we offered family style buffet and plated options. And so going along the process, dependent on your wedding, it has been so amazing to see the food, the transition, and what our chef can do and what our kitchen can do. And so offering these options to our guests has just been outstanding, I would say. So for 2022, we have super high expectations. We have a full new revamped menu, and we are so excited. We have duck on it. We have just all of these crazy things. And so we are so excited. We actually have done about 4 tastings for 2022, and everyone that has tried it has just been, they're in awe at the look of the food, the taste of the food. Meeting our chef is a huge thing. Just kind of Chef Marissa being out and saying, hi, this is my food. This is what I created. This is what I tailored to you. It's such a customizable kind of experience. And we're so, so happy that she is just full blown, out there, willing to accommodate and willing just to present herself and show really what her talent is and what she offers to the reserve. And we are so lucky to have her, and super excited just to see her and see what she can do with her experience.
Yeah, definitely.
It's exciting. I mean, and you can tell obviously the passion you guys have for that as well, but that's
it's so fun.
It's a huge thing though. I mean, the weddings and the food and especially when it's in the house, there's a lot of pressure with that. When you're talking about scheduling for 2022 and beyond, what has it been like this last? I mean, it was probably not the most ideal time to get brought onto a wedding venue, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that with COVID and everything, it has been really hard. We've talked about it a lot. Like I said, we're both just really passionate about it. So making sure that all of our clients are super happy is important to us, but also following our own guidelines at the venue, making sure that our venue is protected. It's hard to meet in the middle sometimes. I think that's been our biggest complication, is just making sure that everyone's happy. We want them to have a great day. We want to make sure that we have a great reputation at the end of the day. And so, it's been a struggle, but I think every single wedding, even if it's come up where it's been I wasn't expecting the mask mandate or this or that, we have, I think they've all been happy afterwards, even though some things maybe didn't go exactly how people were anticipating with things that were out of our control. With next year, we're also just super excited. We're hoping that things open back up and that, everyone can have a safe, fun event and we don't have to worry about mask mandates and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we follow all of the rules and make sure that it's all taken care of, but we're hoping that it can be safe and fun for everyone going forward.
Are you guys local to the area?
I am, yeah. I'm 15-minute drive from the venue.
Yeah, I'm 20, so not terrible. Enough time to get some coffee and enjoy my time before work.
Did you grow up here too?
Yeah, so I grew up, it's kind of funny. I went to high school at probably the closest high school to the reserve. So when we were in high school, everyone would go and take their senior pictures there. It was this fancy, cool venue when I was growing up. And so now working there is actually quite an honor for me. But yeah, I've been familiar with the venue for quite a long time.
Yeah, and I'm actually from Bend, Oregon. I moved to Eugene about 6 years ago and spent a couple years in Eugene. And I'm kind of newer to this area, about 2 years in. We moved here for just some more opportunities, some more job opportunities. I really wanted to focus on getting into the event industry. And so what better of an area to have a versatile kind of event industry area, so you can go more into the events or you can go into the weddings. And then my boyfriend, he came here for more of a software developer kind of job position, so it was just kind of the perfect area for us. But definitely my hometown is Bend and my heart will always be in Bend. Family's in Bend, so definitely a good place though. I think we'll probably settle down in this area.
You guys have talked a lot about the excitement of events, right? Being in the industry. It's not the least stressful, right, industry to want to get into. I mean, what is it that drives that passion?
Yeah. So, we were just talking about this actually right before we started recording. It is a high stress job. I mean, these people, like we've kind of talked about, they are like, this is like the most important day of their life. So, they have very high expectations and there's a lot of people that need a lot of things from us. Bride and groom obviously are a priority, but then there's the mom of the groom, the mom of the bride, and they also, this is their day too. So they need our help, they need our attention, all these different things. So, we definitely take it really serious. We try to cover all of our bases. We're fortunate to have a really amazing team between our banquet manager, us who are kind of running the wedding event show, and then all of our staff, servers, waiters, all of that kind of stuff. So it does take a little stress off having such an awesome team. As far as how we manage the stress, we definitely having a good friend in the industry is really important. We definitely are able to roll things off of each other, kind of talk about things that have been difficult, get ideas on how we can better manage things that have been really stressful. So I think friendship and a great team has been something that helps me cope with the high stress of the job. Mm-hmm.
Same goes for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having someone kind of around the same age and just, coming into it with new eyes has been just huge and super beneficial. And being able to kind of add the more modern look and the more modern ideas, I would say, has been really huge. And like she was kind of touching on, our team is so helpful. Mm-hmm. They, no matter what it is, from start to finish, they are there and they're there to help with bride and groom, but also with the family and the friends. Because like Natalie was saying, family and friends really want to be involved. It's obviously about bride and groom, but there's so many families and the families are coming together and it's such a special moment. And so for our team to kind of acknowledge that and just be like, we're here for you. I know that you're stressed. I know that, we lost a groomsman once. We found him, but to be like, kind of accommodating to no matter what situation. And, some of our struggles at the reserve is sometimes the wind a little bit later in the day. And so for our team to kind of accommodate to napkins flying in the air or, something happening. Our team is so sweet. And so I think just having everyone as a big community and as a big family here at the reserve, that's what I've just kind of thrived off of, is just the love from everyone that you meet at the reserve, from our golf side to our wedding side. We are just a big family and a big team.
Yeah, definitely.
I do need to hear about this lost groomsman story now, though.
I knew it. So it was about 10 minutes before we were ready to walk to the ceremony. And groomsmen,
I get a text.
Yes, I had a text her. I'm like, I lost so-and-so. He needed to get some batteries, I guess. It was a very important request from bride. So he thought he'd be back in time, but there's construction, there's traffic, things get caught. I'm about to line everyone up. I'm like, we're missing somebody. They're like, he's at the store. He'll be fine. I'm like, I have 10 minutes to go. I'm texting Natalie. I'm like, you need to stall. We need to stall things. Turns out he made it just in time, literally a minute right before we're about to walk. Everything's fine. But in that first 10 minutes, I was not okay.
She was like, where is he? Go look. I'm on the hunt for this guy. I don't know what he looks like.
Our team is on the hunt. We're trying to look for him. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was a disaster at first, but we pulled it all together. And I think that's the biggest thing at the reserve is no matter the situation, we always come together. We always pull it off. And even if we're 10 minutes late to walk, it's okay. At least they walked. They're happy. They're married. Mm-hmm. We have a beautiful venue. We have a beautiful bride and groom. They are happy. We did it. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, if I have gotten more just gristled over time with if it's 10 minutes late or whatever, like it's going to be, we had, this was years ago. We had, I think it was either the best man, it was one of the groomsmen, and he had forgotten his pants, like at the, they got ready at a hotel somewhere, and it was like really far away. It was like 45 minutes away or something on the other side of town. And so like, luckily he had blue jeans that was like the same color as they were in blue suits, but yeah, they went and got his pants, and I asked him afterward. I said, "Hey, like, when did you get your pants?" He goes, "Did you see me pulling up my zipper as I walked down the aisle?" He goes, "That's as close as I got." I said, "Well, but I mean, that's a good story, and it's I'm sure your couple too won't forget that, and
they won't.
Or maybe she didn't know. Maybe that's a better thing that they don't know that all that was going on.
Yeah.
So, when you guys were brought in, right, in July to the venue here, what was kind of your charge? All right, improve the weddings, improve the events, right, outreach, obviously, come on, these goofy podcasts. I mean, what was kind of the charge for you guys to do all this?
I think a big thing for us is that we're like ready to go. Like we both came into this like very, very excited about kind of revamping things. And I don't say that to like make it seem like it was bad before we came in. It's always been like a wonderful venue. But we wanted to kind of like bring a modern touch, like she mentioned. I feel like we both have fresh eyes to the industry. We are both kind of on the younger side. And so I think for us, like we are really up with the technology and social media and Pinterest and like we're able to see things that were like, that was great a couple of years ago, but like it's time to kind of update things and let's try this, let's try that. So, I mean, there has been a little bit of like trial and error, but I think our biggest thing was just coming in and bringing fresh eyes to our particular venue, bringing some passion and excitement, which I'm assuming all the weddings prior to us were wonderful as well. Yeah. But we're just, like we're just really excited to kind of bring something new to the table. We wanted to get kind of our name out there, the venue out there. So we've been really revamping the social media, trying to make it as updated, accurate as we can, and really like help people visualize what their wedding could be like if they book with us.
Well, it's hard. And that's why I asked that is, there's so many venues now, right? And it's such a competitive landscape. Years ago, if you had a venue, you kind of ruled the roost, right? Because it was like, well, where are you going to get married at, right? And now it's really competitive, and there's so many good offerings, right? Like, and everybody, it's so, and so, having that social media, right? Having like the accessibility, right? Being up to date on a lot of that stuff. I mean, there's so many where if we're booking and I'm trying to add the stuff and like I'm on the website and the address isn't on there, or I'm like emailing, I'm like, hey, did you guys know like your venue and your address isn't on your website? They're like, oh, And so it's just stuff like that where obviously, bringing in you guys, right, younger to the industry, right? You said fresh, backgrounds for you guys. Where have you acquired all of this knowledge that you're bringing in?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am super lucky. I worked, like I was kind of talking about previous, to the Reserve with a lady named Nicole, and she had her business since 2005. So coming in and working with her 2 years prior to the Reserve was so beneficial. She really taught me about decorations and the importance of the overall standard of a event. And it was just so nice to kind of go with her. And she did her events where she did all outside hires and she contacted all the other vendors and stuff. And we kind of worked and we were kind of the one-stop shop. And so she really showed me just kind of different angles and different types of events. So like I said, we kind of did a lot of anniversaries and birthdays and all of these things. And so coming into it, I just had such a wide knowledge of different types of events. We did a lot of weddings and such. And rather with her, we weren't necessarily a venue. We were just a event planner. And so going and doing all these different events at different areas and different venues and stuff, it was so nice and so accommodating to kind of just learn my experience from her. Obviously, YouTube is really good for us. Pinterest is always good. You can always look at TikTok. TikTok's really good to kind of learn things as well. I think the most beneficial thing also is just kind of staying up to date with what's going on in the world. What's the what's the trends right now, not only for wedding dresses, but for venues and vendors, and what's going on with the flowers, and what's going on with the months that your weddings are booked. I think is the most beneficial. Looking at magazines, even though magazines are kind of out of date, looking at Facebook, looking at what other people are doing. And a big thing that we have been doing recently is going to other venues and kind of just seeing what they are doing as well. So not necessarily to compare our venue, but to learn from them. And so we have been reaching out to a lot of different areas and being like, hey, can we come take a tour with you? Can we see what you're doing? Can we just look at your chairs, your tables, your linens? Like, we just want to see. We don't want to compare. We just want to say, hey, this is us. This is Natalie and I, and you can come take a tour at us as well. And I think all of these things has really shaped us and me individually into the person and to the wedding coordinator that I am today. Just kind of learning from other people's experiences and what they have done in the past.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, kind of touching on what she was just talking about with the research, the social media. I think that for myself, I love to know a lot of details. I mean, I probably am kind of a nosy person. I'll go to a wedding and I'm asking what do you love about this? What would you change? Not our weddings, but if I'm at another wedding, I'm looking around and taking pictures. I mean, I was at a wedding the other day and I'm sending her all these pictures. I'm this is so cute. I love this, and so for me, it's I want to know what makes that day so special for you. And even in my previous work as an interior designer, I just I wanted to know what would make it stand out. So I don't want to be the, in a box generic, this is what you can expect anywhere. I want to have great ideas, and I want to be able to offer something that maybe you didn't even think of. And so I think for me, it's just knowing everything. I mean, you can't know everything obviously, but knowing a lot of different varieties of what you can do. So I think research and enjoying that has been what got me really passionate about it.
It kind of makes us unique though too, because she'll do research and I'll do research, and then we'll come together and we will be like, hey, this is what I learned about. This is what I learned about. And then we can make it our unique kind of version for the Reserve. And I think that's what our passion kind of thrives from, is just seeing what we can do and make it to our custom style at the Reserve. And so that is something that we are huge about. And kind of, we have so many plans for 2022 that we are so excited to just kind of revamp and to do for the Reserve. And so, like I said, for 2022, it's going to be outstanding. I can't even describe what we have planned.
It's funny, you were talking about doing the other tours, and I thought maybe you guys were oh, we're planning the wedding, we're checking it out. But no, you said you're being forthright about it. I mean, that's good, because you could sneak in there too, and you could say, oh, we're just trying to,
we love it. And we I think it's really important. You can't have everything. As much as we like to think that we're amazing and we offer all these wonderful things to our clients, it's we just might not be the right fit for some people, and that's okay. And we understand that. And we want to have great connections in the wedding community that we can recommend. And people that we truly where they're wow, we appreciate the Reserve for recommending someone who was absolutely what we wanted. So, going and seeing other venues is really important, seeing what they can offer, their packages. We love learning and seeing maybe what we could tweak, but we also love having those connections where we can recommend other people. And we, it is competition, truly, it is around you, but it's also we should be learning from each other and kind of building this community up as well.
Yeah. And the community has been amazing, to be honest. They have been so welcoming. Coming into this, we almost thought that it would be very competitive. You have venues, you have vendors, and everyone's kind of fighting, but to be honest, coming into it, everyone has been so welcoming. We cannot describe just the joy that we've had just reaching out and being hey, we're a little bit newer. Can you show us what you've been doing, or can you give us advice? We recently went to Kaiser and we went to a showcase, and we saw another venue, and they were also doing just a hosted event where a lot of other vendors and venues even were there just kind of meeting people. And we just got our name out there and we're hey, we're so new to this. Can you just, kind of give us anything to kind of recommend or any advice at all? And they were just so welcoming, and we could not it's one of those things that we can't appreciate it more, to be so welcomed into this community. We couldn't have asked for a better position, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The hardest thing, at any type of vendor is realizing you can't service everybody, right? That you can't facilitate all events, or I can't, people want different things. And especially with venues, I do think you'll find a lot more like people wanting to work together, because you're like, well, if I'm booked, like I'm booked, as like venues, right? Where like you might get a florist. It's like, well, I could always do another wedding, or I could always add. But if you're a venue, you're like, it's Saturday, like we're booked, and we're let's go find someone else that's a good fit. But it's that hard, like. You're just not the right fit for everybody, and being aware of that is really hard, right? And you find a lot of, especially like photo, video people, you find them trying to like, I want to shoot every single client, and you're like, well, some people just don't want, they don't want what you're doing, and that's fine, right?
Yeah, definitely. And we see that too. Like we get a lot of like the photos back from the weddings, like the photographer, the videographer will send us all that content. And it's interesting, like you said, it's like some people want this like super like washed out, bright, like it looks like it's 90 degrees out, even though it's like cloudy that day. And some people, they want this moody, dark, like really kind of, I don't know. And so we see a lot of it too. And like you said, it's like, both are beautiful. Like we love both, but they're just, some are going to fit for one person, some are going to fit for the other. And that's why we really value like having those tight knit connections, relationships that we can recommend if we do know a better fit for someone.
Yeah. I mean, like there's a planner I work with all the time, and like, she'll know like, this is your kind of wedding video client, or this is this other guy. And like, I mean, and like we're, couldn't be further from anything. Right. And it's weird. Like, and it's something that takes a long time for people to realize, and especially with venues too, like it's so subjective to like that taste, right? Or what they're looking for. It's so hard. And if I could go back a million times, would we pick somewhere else to get married to? It's really hard. It's really emotionally, where do we find that connection? It's weird.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I went to school at Gonzaga in Spokane, and like the first time we toured it, it was like pouring rain, and I hated it. And then we toured a bunch of schools, and I came back and I toured it, and it was sunny, and I was like, oh, I want to go here. And I'm like, it's weird how that works out. So
it is, yeah. I know. I have I went to Oregon State, and so I had some friends that were from California, and so they visited Eugene, like I don't know, like Eugene, U of O, and they were like, it was all dark, and it was super like all this concrete and everything. And then they came to Corvallis, and it was like the most beautiful day, which we don't see a lot of. Like it's not like it's always like that. And they were like, it was so sunny and bright. And then they moved there, and they're like, no, it's rainy everywhere. It's dark and rainy everywhere.
My mom's a big watch a lot of college football. I didn't. Gonzaga has no. My wife has the UW dogs, right? And my mom watches the Ducks and the Beavers, and we all this different stuff. But I am left out with just basketball at Gonzaga, so I don't have any of that stuff.
There you go.
Any other tidbits about the venue? Anything else you want to make sure we get on here before? Obviously, we'll talk social medias and websites and stuff like that. But anything else you're working on? You want to make sure we get out there?
I would just say, if anyone's interested, just reach out to us, ask questions, come see our venue, even just to say hi. Not even if you're looking to book, just come say hi, see what we're doing, see what we're offering. Like I said, we're a private and a public golf course. So not only do we offer just the wedding and the event side, but we also offer the golf course side. So I would just say, just come say hi, come eat lunch with us. Like we're always trying just to kind of make connections and see what people are doing, now that COVID is, it's still going on, but we have regulations and we can meet people and we can say hi and we can have lunch together. Come say hi, come drink a glass of wine with us, share your experiences. Like we have so many plans for 2022 that we are excited just to kind of show what we're doing. And if anyone wants us to come visit them, like we're super excited to kind of just see different areas, even if it's a hotel, a venue, a vendor, like invite us over. We're super
like
excited.
We like to learn. And I don't know if we actually touched on this during the podcast, but we also do have our restaurant. I know we talked about our chef and, all the food for the weddings, but we do have a restaurant that's open to the public. And like Kameron mentioned, we love talking to people. Obviously we're both talkers. We love wine. We love, getting to know people in the industry. So come check out our restaurant, our golf course, talk events with us, beyond just weddings, all of those other fun events too. So
I never asked, are you guys golfers? Are you big golfers?
We're trying to get better. We're trying to hit a ball. That's my biggest thing. Natalie's okay. She's hit a tree once.
I did hit a tree. Well, my like bosses at work and everything. They're like, you guys need to learn how to golf if you're going to work here. So they offered to take us out. I think Kameron had to go home. So I ended up like going with our team. It was so embarrassing. I was like, this is horrible. And so then I got kind of mad because I'm very competitive. I was like, I need to figure this out. So I've been golfing with my dad, my sister. I've been trying to improve, but I'm definitely not that good.
We have a long ways to go.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
We like driving the golf cart.
We do.
That counts for anything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had to do I had to drive a golf. We went out and did photos at during one of our weddings. And it's scary. I don't drive a golf course regularly, and I was like, oh, they just let us, like, you just hop in one of these and go off. Like, I was very surprised that we could just go cruise around. Well, Kameron and Natalie, if people want to learn more about the reserve, where would you have them check out?
Yeah, so I would say that if you want to see photos and kind of like imagine your wedding, I would check out our Instagram at Reserve Weddings. You can also check us out on Facebook, the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely look at our Instagram.
Yeah.
We have really been trying to just revamp it and just really keep it up to date. So for our 2021 year, we have all of our weddings on there. So just different styles. We have cultural weddings. We have tea light ceremonies. We have just traditional types of weddings. So if you're looking to see kind of our style and what we can accommodate to, definitely check out our Instagram. I think that's our big focus. You can absolutely go to our website and just check out our golf side as well as our non-golf side. So those are really, really good places to go. Facebook is great as well, but definitely our Instagram is our big focus at the moment. For 2022, we do plan on hopefully getting a TikTok. Yes. So maybe check us out in 2022 on TikTok.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I have Best Made videos reserved. I haven't done anything on the TikTok yet. It was a little scary. I'm getting into like I'm just watching like the Instagram shorts, like they have their TikTok, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like it'd be like 15 seconds of the most compelling thing I've ever seen, and then
it's amazing. I can't stop watching.
Well, Kameron and Natalie, thank you so much for coming on today. As always, if you're interested in being a featured guest on the Get to Know Your Wedding Pro podcast, you can go to bestmadevideos.com/podcast guest. And we do have your one. I think we have the floodgates going. So I think we have 2 or 3 more scheduled here. You guys, we're getting done with, it's November, but we're getting done with the wedding season. I think people are getting done with their backlogs of, edits and other work. And we're getting more of these going into the winter. So I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.